So I was just watching a video by Alan Watts, and it was like his um, messages, and but it was posted on this channel called After School, and they draw it, and it was really interesting and fascinating to me. And he was talking about purpose in God. I watched like 3 videos, and it really did make me think. So go watch Alan Watts and some of his videos, because his videos will really make you think. But it started to make me think about like how human beings were very curious, you know? And there's so much information to learn that it is indefinite. You're always gonna have something to learn. You can't learn it all. You can't learn too much and you can't learn too little. But, or maybe you can learn too much. Just hang in here with me for a second. I feel like I didn't bond with religion growing up because it was so, they make God seem like a man. And even if God seeming like a woman was a thing, still that would be odd. And in a way, I'm not saying that's bad, because in a way, putting God into human characteristics, like you are God, you are a part of that, so that's cool too. But in a way, if you're making it a that's it thing, like, oh, God is a man in the sky and that's it, I can't bond with that. And I don't bond with it because why can't we as human beings just be okay? Why are we always debating of how we were created and what is God and where is God? And my God is the true God and your God is the true God. Why? What is the point of that? Like, if you really think deep into it, it's like either way it goes, there are multiple consciousness. We're sitting here talking and debating what God is, not realizing that in a way we're both kind of right and we're both kind of wrong. Why can't human beings just be okay with not knowing? And that's when I thought about that, I'm like, instead of trying to like know exactly what God is and how God is, why can't we just connect with it? Because there's always gonna be a knowing in your mind, or not in your mind, in your soul of what it is, a knowing and a feeling, yes. Instead of trying to be right or wrong or figure out what it truly is, like to the core, why can't we just be okay with not knowing it and just connecting with it? Like, and it made me think, like, these type of questions that make you think really, really deep, that if you think about it too long, it might hurt your brain a little bit. But when it comes to making peace in the world, why can't we just stop fighting about stuff that doesn't matter? and just be okay with being right and wrong and not holding resentment and just being like, I don't know. I don't know the full truth. I don't know exactly how the universe was created. I don't know. What is wrong with that? Nothing. Nothing is wrong with being like, I don't know. Why can't we just be and enjoy our time here? Why? You know what I mean? And like human beings, like you'll tell the same thing to somebody who has a messed up nervous system and they are used to, being in the world and politics and things and stuff. And yes, it is gonna take for people to get out of their ego and to transform for this to happen. But if you really think about it, like animals, they're not trying to find their purpose in all these ways. They're just here and enjoying their nature and enjoying eating the grass and procreating and breathing and whatever else they decide to do. Now, of course, animals, they fight, they do wars and territorial things, and that all of that stuff is just normal too. But this whole thing of like purpose, it's like, yes, my purpose is to do this and to do that. And I would rather call that a soul calling, because our soul calls us to do certain duties and things. But I think overall, when it comes down to it, like on a surface level, I think the goal is to just live, just be peaceful. What is so hard about that? A world without wars and murder and all this other stuff is not so out of grasp, and it's also not hard. And if you think about it, if we want to make heaven on earth, in a way we have to embody it. So growing up, they made it seem like, okay, heaven is a place with rubies and stones and angels, and where you give glory and thanks to God and you worship and eat good foods and stuff. So yes. Talk. So basically you're telling me, why are we doing the same thing? That's what I'm trying to understand. Like, basically they're just there turning up. They're just there enjoying heaven. There is no point but that. There is no hierarchy. There is no, there is just enjoying heaven and giving thanks to God and connecting. There is simply just that. So it's like, if we want to make heaven on earth, why don't we just do that? Why don't we just find a way to just live and give thanks to God? And the first thing that I ever wanted to be in life was a beach girl. And I told my mom at 4 years old, I told her, and she'll tell me that I told y'all, or that I told her that. she'll say this. She said that I said, Mommy, I want to be a beach girl. I want to get up. I want to go to the beach. And then I want to go to school. And then when I get out of school, I want to go back to the beach. That's the first thing I ever wanted to be in life. Was a beach girl. And fast forward, we end up moving from Savannah, Georgia from then, and we came to St. Louis. There is no beach here. But I still have that longing in the inside of living close to a beach and doing exactly that. Going to the beach and enjoying my family and enjoying myself and enjoying my life. And I remember it was somebody that asked me a few years ago, like, what are you gonna do after high school? Like, and I was like, I want to move out the country. I want to go out the country. And people, they would make it seem like, oh, that's so unrealistic. And I still don't believe them. I don't listen to people who are miserable and they don't like their own life or whatever. But I was like, what are you gonna do, like, in Costa Rica? I'm like, I'm gonna go to the beach. And like, so they're like, so you're just gonna be a beach bum? You're just gonna be on the beach? Yeah. What is so wrong about that? Like, if you actually think about it, I feel like that's why the universe has like cheat codes for me. And part of my cheat codes is to just live. Like, it's like the moment that I let go of things, the moment that everything works out, guys. And it's like this energy that I just want to hold on to it, and I want to hold on to the outcome, and I want to control it, and I feel it in my back, in my body, and I want to make it different. And so be so, I think that's natural. But the moment that I let go of outcomes and I let go, it works itself out. And that's why I don't focus on the universe and stuff, because, no. I don't focus on this and that and all this other stuff, because there's so many ways that it can work out. And so yeah, during that conversation, I was like, thinking back on it, I'm like, what is so wrong with being a beach bum? Like, and just going to the beach. It's not a bummy thing, I'm at the beach. And I think that in today's world, that's one of the best things that you can aspire to. You want to know why that's the best thing that you can aspire to do? Is to just live and enjoy your life and go to the beach. That's the best thing that you can do, because you're not hurting nobody. You're not stealing. You're not killing. You're not destroying. And we have enough of that in the world. The world would probably be a better place if everybody was a beach bum. If it was normal to just do whatever you love to do and go to the beach. It's that simple. I think that human beings, especially today's age, like, dude, we have so much today than we did years ago, that it's like we are still creating problems. And like, yes, there are problems, there are bad things, bad people, but it's like, come on, we can just simply stop, because what is the point of working to live a life that you don't want to live, to go back to work so that you can live a life that you don't want to live? It's stupid. It's stupid. It makes no sense. And that's why when people be talking about it, You know, and I get that it's easier said than done, but I'd be like, if it's a group of y'all, why don't y'all just stop? Why don't y'all just sell it? Sell your house, sell what you got, and figure it out. And you know what I mean? What is the big dealio? And sometimes people will they don't even understand that they're doing it, but they hold on to pain and hurt, and they create more pain and hurt, and they're so used to pain and hurt, you know. Hold on, guys, sorry. Ooh, my neck. But yeah, people can be so used to pain and hurt that they don't understand that they're creating it. So I want to ask y'all, what do you think the world would be if it was normal for us to just relax? What is all of this purpose? And you know, it reminds me of my baby daddy. It reminds me of him because I talked to him. I remember one time I was having a conversation. We was talking about purpose. And I was so fixated on this, you know, purpose. And then Jacob was like, I don't even think we're here to have a purpose. What purpose? What do you mean? And I'm like, purpose. And now that I'm looking back on that conversation, I'm like, understanding it now, that in a way, purpose is an illusion. Yes, calling. You have a soul calling. Like, I'm called to teach yoga and do yoga, you know what I mean? But what is yoga? Yoga is union with the mind, body, and spirit. It's a way of living. It's a lifestyle. It's something that I demonstrate through me. So in a way, that's a calling. But purpose is like, I can't tell you what I think giving a purpose to life takes away the entire purpose. Maybe the purpose is to have no purpose and to just be. And maybe it can be that fucking simple. It could be that fucking simple. And you know, when I would be in places of anxiety or, you know, distrust, I'll ask a lot of questions and like how this, how that, like, you know, I'll try to pick apart the how and stuff. And even with conversations with my baby daddy, because sometimes it really peaks when I'm having conversations with him, but he'll kind of be defensive when I do that. But I think there's a part of him that is just like, he is very go with the flow. He is very, I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna figure it out later. That is him. He is, and that's a good thing. That means that he's a go-getter. He's ambitious. But yeah, looking back on the conversation, you know, he'll get defensive and say, then I'll do this, then I'll do that, then I'll do this, and then I'll do that. But I have to realize, and I do now realize, that he is one of those people, kind of like me, in a way where it's like, I figure things out as I go. I don't ask too many questions because I don't know. And you have to be okay with just not knowing how it's going to work out and how it is, because even if you have a set in stone plan, it can still be bumps in the road, and you do just have to have that faith. And I think that's where God comes in for me, is knowing that we are part of something bigger. We are part of humanity, a human consciousness, and we are a part of God, what really is God that reigns through all of us. So there goes that trust that, I don't know how exactly it is, but at the same time, I do know that I have this desire for a reason. I do know that I believe in myself. I do know that it's going to work out one way or another. If this is my intention, this is what I'm set on, my attention is set on, it's gonna happen. It's gonna work out one way or another. So I think, it's so weird to think about, because in a way it's like you are in control and you're not in control. And so in a way it's like you know that it's gonna work out, but at the same time you don't know that it's gonna work out. It's like having that balance in between the two. It's a very weird concept to think about, because when it comes to God, there is so much duality. There is an opposite in a way to everything, and you have to find that peace within the chaos and focus on the beauty and amplify the beauty. You know what I mean? Be okay with being perfectly imperfect. So, y'all, moral of the story, be okay with that, with what you don't know. Let go of control, but at the same time, be within your intentions. Control you in the way that in what you can. Control, that's another video that I have to make, because that is a very iffy topic to speak about. And also, moral of the story, mankind, a lot of the times mankind don't know what mankind be talking about, because mankind be trying to figure out what mankind is, and mankind be trying to figure out what God is, and mankind be trying to figure out purpose and all this other stuff, and then mankind kill mankind. So that's why I never correlated with religion, because I feel like man don't know what they be talking about sometimes, and in a way it's okay to not know. Why can't let's just be okay with that and move forward and change our consciousness for the better of humanity and love? No, I don't know what this is. I don't know how I got here. I do know that I have a connection with God. I do know that I have a connection with my ancestors. I do know that I am bigger than the clothes that I wear and the skin that I'm in. And I know that at the same time I am the skin that I am. But do I know everything? Do I know how the beginning of the universe and how the end of the universe? No, I don't know, and I don't think that we're even supposed to know. 'Cause if you do know the beginning of how everything began, that would just make it no fun no more, and it would mean that a new beginning would probably have to start. There has to be mystery in a way. So I don't really know. I don't really think we are supposed to know how the world existed or how God came to be. You know what I'm saying? Why? Let's just be human beings, experience. Let's just be, be. And that is the real challenging part. And then that is where yoga comes in, where it's like, it is that challenge to just sit and breathe and be here. Be with your problems and be okay with it. Be at peace. Accept it. Love, experience, like that is yoga. And a lot of times people think that doing handstands and all this, everything else is yoga, but the real challenge might be just sitting still. Thank you for coming to